Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Dallas Cowboys try to return a Cavonta Talpins. Also, we will talk about what owner Jerry Jones announced on NFL draft moves and the return of some players including the Max Crosby from Raiders and other more players. So, if you didn't make subscribe, please make subscribe on this platform for more Cowboys breaking news, free agencies move, and NFL draft. The Dallas Cowboys have been involved in a trade rumors for a weeks, and that likely won't change anything soon. If the Cowboys complete a deal this offseason, the Cowboys wired Alred D. Hanson believes that the franchise's of 29 years old or pro return specialist should be included. So the Dallas Cowboys tried to expand a Talpin's load in 2025, but this time was failed. And in the same ways it worked and in other ways it failed. Hanson wrote on Monday, Talpins posted a career member on offense but miscue and drops were littered throughout. His returns ability also suffered with a Talpins collecting uncharacteristic penalties and perceived to the NFL. His game-breaking speed is unmistakable, and with a contract that turns throughout 2027, he should garner a pretty decent return from a team looking for another players. The Dallas Cowboys may not want to lose him in their return game, but offensively, they can take the hit. Talpins is a terrible wide receiver, but he is a far more dangerous as kick returner. The TCU product exceptional acceleration commitment to allowing his blockers to create a clear crisis and situational awareness which allow him to leave during a kickoff. Talpins finished the 2025 and 26 season with 1,814 yards and one touchdown, earning him a second-team All-Pro honors. It's safe to assume a potential Cowboys trade suitor would be interested in acquiring Talpin, making it logical to consider featuring him in an offensive trade. The Cowboys and team owner Jerry Jones have gone quite in a second wave of NFL free agents after making a few solid moves in a first wave. There is still a question that needs to be answered about the roster in a Dallas Cowboy. So, entering the 2026 NFL offseason, the Cowboys were expected to be very aggressive. The owner Jerry Jones made it clear that he was willing to spend big money in order to make a Super Bowl push. So far, what hasn't happened this offseason with the 2026 NFL draft right around the corner later this month, Dallas will have a chance to add two elite young players in first round of NFL draft mocks. The Cowboys hold their own pick number 12 overall picks while also having a Green Bay Packers first round pick number 12 due to a Micah Parsons trade last offseason. A new mock draft from ESPN has been released. That mock draft has Dallas using the number 12 overall picks to upgrade its pass rush. The Dallas Cowboys connected to a major defensive addition. So in ESPN's a new mock draft, Field Yates was in the charge of making the Cowboys' first selection at number 12. He has a team scoping up Miami Hurricanes standout pass rusher. The mission to fix the Cowboys' defense should start with the addition of the Bane. Yates wrote, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year has earned destruction that will travel to the NFL, and he had 9.5 sacks last season for the Hurricanes. Ben would be instant upgrade for the defense that could use a better pass rush. Even after acquiring Lashan Gally in a trade with a Packers, a Dallas could use a help in this NFL draft. So while during 2025 college football season with the Hurricanes, Ben was a big part of the reason they made run to the national championship. They didn't win the championship, but that didn't take away from a Ben impressive season. He racked up 54 total tackles to go along with 9 sacks and a forced fumble, an interception, and a defended pass. Throughout his 3 years career at Miami, he totaled 121 tackles and 20 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles on interception and 2 defended passes. Jerry Jones is still away off from a Super Bowl contention. Current point in time, the Cowboys do not take a part in a top-tier Super Bowl contender. They have improved with addition of the guard safety John Thompson and cornerback Kobe Durant, but no blockbuster moves has been made to drastically improve the team. No one can count a Dallas out, and anything can happen during the course of NFL season. However, it appears that Jones has more work to do. One of the main storylines of the 2025 and 26 NFL offseason was a Max Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders being available for a trade, and the Dallas Cowboys were one of the teams in the hunt for him. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones has expressed that the team was very serious about bringing a Max Crosby and made 3 trade offers. But instead of Crosby went to the Baltimore Ravens, only to fail his physical and come back to the Raiders. So today, Jones is talking about the Crosby again in the NFL free agencies and NFL draft. The Ravens, of course, cited Crosby fairly physical as why they took back their offers to bring him to a Baltimore. Speaking with reporters at the NFL Annual League meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, Jones basically said that the Cowboys could have done the same thing. There is no hidden items there. You have got a pass physical, and he said, according to the Las Vegas Review a journal, we have never completed and agreed until the players passes the physical. We would have had some conditional with a physical for the Max Crosby in order to join the Dallas Cowboys. Jones added, as you know, we were in on making an offer for him. So, he would have come to a Dallas, and we will all just guess what would be happens on Max Crosby deal with the Dallas Cowboy. The Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones get awards after Max Crosby comments made at NFL League Marketing. As for those comments from Jerry Jones, to Lotta of Landley Hart says in Thursday, April 2, future that the bad faith crowd isn't going to enjoy leading that court. So Jones didn't go as far as say that a Dallas would have floored a Baltimore lead. Trotter adds, but he didn't have to. Add it's make you wonder if other interested teams would have done. Ravens handled their situation and why it was controversial. But put it lightly, it's one thing to back out the trade because failed physically. What makes a Baltimore look so sad in that they reportedly communicated with a free agent Trey Hendrickson before bailing on the Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, the team then signed Hendrickson for 4 years on a contract of $112 million according to research from a Spotlight. So, knowing how much Jones loves making headlines and how much star powers the Cowboys need on the defense, it's a pretty bonkers that he walked away from a biggest move of the NFL offseason. That almost that almost vindicates Baltimore's decision, as sad as it looks in retrospect. The Dallas Cowboys Max Crosby trade pinches included a three board moves. According to reports from ESPN's Ryan Emsfarden, out on March 2024, the Dallas Cowboys proposed a three different deals to Las Vegas Raiders that started with picks number 12 in the 2026 draft and also Adigizua to get Crosby to Texas. Initial offers centered on a Dallas second first round picks at number 12 and the defensive tackles Osa Odishizua. MC Faden said in the report the Cowboys then offered their top first rounded at number 12 and third round pick. He added ultimately the Cowboys moved to number 12 and their second round picks, but the last two offers, sources said, did not include Odigizua, who had traded to San Francisco. Here is a probable good reason for NFL teams, which has made to move two pairs wide receiver above $13 million each. It's the same reason you wouldn't want to dab up on that kind of the money at any position. The Dallas Cowboys know this better than anyone else after suffering through a miserable season in 2025 in which they paid a two cornerback at Trevon Diggs and Dallon Brand on a contract worth about $187 million for combined players and got a little in return. Also, why the Cowboys would be smart to try to trade NFL or Pro George Pickens this offseason, when his value will never be higher, and make sure they get a kind package box it return that still allows the offense to be among the NFL best and also sets them up for the future. So in this scenario of a George Pickens means identifying teams that might be overly eager to get a player like Pickens back in return. The team, just like Atlanta Falcons, in these scenarios, the Cowboys could ask for a Falcons wide receiver, a Drake London, and their 2026 round picks. There is many reasons why a deal makes sense for the Dallas Cowboys in this 2026. When the Cowboys traded with a Pittsburgh Steelers for Pickens before the 2026 season, they got back a player who was going to be supremely motivated because they were playing for a big money contract to the next year. Formally, they could repeat with a London in 2026. London has been a great wide receiver on some terrible teams since the Falcons took him with the number 8 overall picks out of in NFL draft. Over his first 4 seasons, London has 17 games averages of 85 receptions and for 1,086 yards and 6 touchdowns, including career heights of 100 receptions and 1,271 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2024. In 25, London had 68 receptions for 919 yards and 7 touchdowns despite missing a career-high 5 games due to injury. So a George Pickens automatically fan favorite in Atlanta. Pro Football Focus called a Falcons and new head coach Kevin Stefanski the best place for a Pickens to land. The trend for Senelli to the Dallas cemented Pickens as a bona fide elite name at the receiver position, and entering his age of 25 season, he will have no shortage of sweeter this free agency cycle. This past season, George Pickens earned career-best 78 PFF receiving a grade, posting a top 3 marks in receiving yardage and 15 plus yards reception of 15. The 2026 season will prove to be an important crossroad for Amika Penix Jr. Development as a passer, pairing Pickens with a Drake London with a create one of the NFL most electric receiver duos, and it set the young quarterback up for the success. Pickens help any teams he is on winning game, but in Atlanta he is also a box office draw. Don't forget that Pickens studied in University of Georgia and a team won the school first college football playoff national championship in 40 years following 2000.